for the course of all of humanity, right? So this is not
I
something
mean,
new. Everything's fucking all the white. I think that's just in the heart. And Cynthia, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in the heart, outside of feminism and all that stuff, I think ultimately women just want a man that respects them. We don't necessarily have to give them control of the family and control of finances and things like that. They just want a man that respects and protects them. And with feminism, I think everything got switched around where all of a sudden women, even if they were like, oh, this is a good guy, he'll protect me, but I'm a woman, I'm strong. And now all of a sudden men are simping. As Glenn was saying, we're simping for women. And now we're saying, oh, shit, the dating market has changed because of feminism. Now women are not getting what they want. Men are not getting what they want. Everything's fucking, all the wires are freaking mismatched. And nobody's actually getting what they want anymore because of how society has reconstructed the whole like social construct of men and women. We did pretty good with men providing and women, and women still could work.
I mean,
It's just weird.
I mean, did we do good? Because I remember my grandparents hating the fuck out of each other.
That's anecdotal.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
but yeah, that is anecdotal.
They did not do well. They were
no, that's
like,
not that is not par for the course, but it is par for the course of all of humanity, right? So this is not something new.
Not me. I hated my ex-wife and I divorced her, and I'm happy now. You vibe. I want one thing from you. I want you to fix your background and put "live, laugh, love" in the top 3 squares there.
Oh, stop it! Stop. Flo,
maybe Cynthia can share hers with you.
Hey, even though your grandparents didn't like get along, did they still create something that they were able to pass down to the next generation?
Sure, they created about 6 kids, who all hated them. Well, who all hated their dad, except for my grandma, who was the oldest girl. And yeah, no, it was a bad situation for everybody.
Yeah, but this is you, right? Let's look at
they stayed married, but everybody was more miserable for it.
Yeah, so in your case, they stayed married and they're more miserable. But if we look at the overall infrastructure and statistics and marriages over time, we can see that today there are more.
I feel like you're not referencing anything specific at all, just a vibe.
I'm getting there, but I am vibe. But anyways, right. If we look at today, I think a lot of people still stay together because of what you're saying and miserable. A lot more people get divorced because they're miserable. Back in the day, like you'll see people that were misery. No, it means that you're impatient. It means that
why aren't you backing me up here?
I'm just letting you guys go.
You don't have.
Somebody's got really bad feedback. I don't know who it is, but it's really bad. I don't know if it's coming through you, Glenn. Go ahead. Yeah, if you can mute up real quick, Glenn, and vibe talk, and we'll see if it happens.
There's something so simple about this, right? And I will.
You, Glenn. I'm sorry.
I'll agree, Dusty, that people stay in miserable marriages, but nowadays that we're allowed to get out of them so quick. Because I've been in a marriage, one marriage. Perfect 5 years, and then 2 years after that I'm like, I want to get out of here. In today's society that's acceptable, but because of my faith and things like that, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to leave this. And getting through that struggle has actually made us stronger today, right? So there is something to be said that we're impatient today, and because we're impatient we run and we just go, why can get better?
Personal life into it if you don't want it scrutinized.
Well, you just did, right? You said this is my family. Well, you said my grandfather. Yeah.
All I'm saying is, both of us are anecdotal. That your life is okay. Sure.
Both of us are anecdotal, but
you don't believe in divorce, and so you have to make the best of it. You have to say what you're saying.
What we can do is we can look at the statistics, and we can look at that people that actually stay through the hard times and the statistics. Now we're going to go outside of my anecdote that I made. We're going to go outside of your anecdote that you just made, and now we're going to go into statistics of when people actually stay married, where they get through the rough times, that they end up in happier marriages. Not all of them. And you can cite a bunch of them to me that don't are happy.
I'm not saying get the fuck out at rough times. Everybody has rough times. I'm saying at some point you are not compatible. The person that I married when I was 23 or something is not such. That stage of life worked fine. The next stage of life when we had to do adult together didn't work. At some point, people are incompatible. And one thing my dad told me, because he had watched his little brother tried to hold together a marriage for too long that failed. He said, if you're gonna get divorced, then pull the trigger and don't waste your time that trying to save something that's doomed. And that was the best fucking advice he ever gave me. I encourage anybody to follow that if you're in that situation.
Okay, so I have a little bit different advice, but I will not actually counter what you're saying, in the sense that get out of it if it's bad. But what I would counter with is if you came in it with more knowledge, if you came in it with some adult advice or some biblical advice or some pastor advice, where you, before you got married, sat down with some sort of counseling, whether it's secularist or religious, you sat down with counseling.
I actually did go to a church before I filed for divorce. Now I did it. No.
Because not before you go to divorce. Before you got married, right? If we actually consulted our elders, because I think the biggest mistake most people make during marriage is they go, "Oh, I have these butterflies in my stomach." We don't talk about what our futures are. We don't talk about what we want. We don't talk about our compatibility.
That's why we got married. I wasn't consulting my elders about whether or not I got to put it down.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. So if we actually formed a society where we actually went to our elders, whether they're secularist elders or religious elders, and said, "Hey, we got these butterflies. We're going to do this," and they said, "Okay, have you guys talked about your futures? Do you guys align? Do you guys have something in common?" This would actually, and I've heard Glenn, he did a whole thing on this. If you actually had some pre-marriage counseling,
do you want to tap me in, Vibe? You want to tap me in now?
You're going to have a much happier life. Go on.
Let me
hold on. Let me
I just want to say, Vibe, will you counsel me and Katie? We want you to be our elder, and we'll ask you about our sex life. Go ahead, Glenn.
Oh my God!
I think
the change you want to see.
The problem is we make the barrier to entry so low. Like,
correct.
You know, like it's a license, right? A marriage license. You just got to go pay $20 and get your marriage license. So, like, there's no need. There's no way to, like, we're not requiring them to demonstrate that they're going to be responsible with said license, right? We do that for driver's license. If you want to drive a vehicle, you need to demonstrate you know how to operate a vehicle, right? Safely. If you want to get a marriage license, and this is what when I had an interview with James Sexton, the divorce lawyer, he was like, if we made the barrier to entry difficult, like they had to go to counseling, whether it's through an organization or through a church, right? And if we had a premarital counseling that was mandatory, one, you'll probably have a lot less marriages.
You think marriage
rates will have a lot longer? You'll probably have a lot longer marriage, like people staying married, and less divorces.
So you think marriage rates are too low right now?
You know, and I wouldn't even say you need a license per se, but it would be nice if there was a counseling before getting married, right? And if you don't like what you heard, you could still get married, right? We're not going to stop you from getting married. What day of the week
do you want to counsel me and Katie?
I am not qualified. I have no qualifications in therapy or whatsoever. But once again, there are statistics that show.
You know what? We're going to ask you our sex questions anyways, and if you don't answer them, then I guess that we'll just be left to wander around and hopefully.
Well, you know what? You could come on Friday, Flo, and you can ask
I come every day because my elders are teaching me different.
You can come on and ask Father Joseph the sex question, and we ask him all questions about Orthodox Christianity.
The Orthodox priests are not celibate, right?
No, they're married.
Okay. Okay, just check it. Yeah.
So you said something earlier, Glenn, and you pointed out a gentleman that basically, said, "Hey, he said I'm the table, like I'm the package. I supply these things that a woman should want." And you said that's a sense of entitlement. To me, that's a sense that's providing stability. Now, stability, like what provides more ick? Starving to death? Or having a roof, having food, having stability and protection of a man, even if he's a sturdy 4.5.
The most ick is presenting those two options and thinking you're doing something
Right.
kind.
Well,
Okay,
let me-
well, hold on. But so
I want to answer GS's
Okay.
question.
and if
so-
I need to refine it a little bit,
No, I get
I'll
what you're
expand.
saying. I want to say like, but let me ask. Can I add this piece to it?
Sure.
In a time when they're providing for themselves, if not equal or sometimes even more. You know what I'm saying? Are you factoring that
They
into
the man,
equation?
they the man, or they the woman
They the woman.
are providing for themselves.
Yeah, like they have like their own jobs. Because right now we know if you look at the unemployment rate, more men are unemployed than women are unemployed.
And is that a bug or a feature?
I think that's actually I think that's due to the social construct of things. Men bad, I think society has pushed that, but also men are also more
So it's a feature.
well, I think it's also because men are more entrepreneurial. They're willing to take those
Or
risks,
risk.
right? And versus women want the safe thing that's structured. That's going to be a 9 to 5. More men are going to be the entrepreneur that is going to take those greater risks. So I think that plays a role in it. I don't know how much a role, but
We got
I
to
think
stop
that-
incarcerating our young entrepreneurs.
well, but
They didn't do nothing though. So I just for the record, that
what
wasn't
I'm trying to
carjacking.
get
That was
at-
joyriding and shit.
like what I'm trying to get at is like if I'm looking at a young woman today that has a kid that pays for her own bills, she has her own place, right? And you're asking like should she go with the guy that already does what she does? Like she's like, well, I already do that. So what are you bringing to me that I don't already do? Right? Like I guess it's like their mentality of it. So I'm wondering, is that factor? Because before, when it was a social dynamic where the woman wasn't the one working, the man providing those things, that was huge. It's like, okay. But now when it's almost essentially equal,
Mhm.
then it's like, well,
So
You know-
so if we continue on this track, I think we turn into Japan.
yeah, no, you're right. We will.
And
Have
we
you
will
seen
go
some
down.
of those tentacles, bro?
Yeah.
And
So
I-
Vibe, that's one of our questions that we have for you is about sex with tentacles.
with me,
With Vibe.
No, Vibe,
Oh,
Vibe is
Vibe.
Canadian, my sex coach now.
I was like, with me.
Well,
What
But
did
I guess
But hold
the
I want to answer that question, but I did interrupt Todd.
Oh, sure.
go ahead.
I'm looking at it going, okay, I see what you're saying, and it's almost an appeal to Islam, keeping your women in the burlap sacks of freedom, so that way they can't compete with you for a job, so they